Ow! Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 5th episode of
Geeks Reviews.
with your host Ray and
I'm Taylor.
what do we have today? Oh, before we start, we always forget this. Spoilers ahead. I don't forget it on the video, but whenever we do the podcast, we always mention after the first discussion.
Oh yeah.
So, spoilers ahead from here on out. Boom! Did not forget for today's episode. We have only done it properly once.
Nice.
So yes, spoilers ahead for the third and final time, and onto the show. So first topic,
We will be talking about Joker.
Joker. We live in a society.
A society.
Society.
What's starring Joaquin Phoenix,
Directed by Todd Phillips, who also directed
The Hangover.
the Hangover series, the Hangover trilogy. To be honest, I've only seen the first one. I've never seen any other sequels.
Yeah, I saw all three.
I kind of do want to watch it. I think I have it.
The second one was kind of
I don't remember it.
extreme.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
That's what I remember hearing. But anyway, Joker. What do you think?
Well, we talked about the movie before in previous podcasts
And off screen.
and off screen, and I was
record.
very off the record.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's right.
I think there's already a show like that.
Well, we're stealing it.
Okay, no. Back, I was very looking forward to this movie, and I was not disappointed. I was actually, what's the word? Like, it actually exceeded my expectations.
Okay.
Yeah. So I really liked it, and Joaquin Phoenix was very excellent. Writing was kind of, but I think the acting and the
cinematography is
just
great,
carried the whole movie. Yeah, they did a wonderful job.
True. For me, I wasn't looking forward for it. But then again, even though I understand it's not a comic book adaptation of the Joker, whoa, this is a no phone, sir. Just kidding. Pretty much, I didn't really expect much other than a good performance from Joaquin Phoenix. Sorry if I'm making too much noise right behind on the mic. I'm trying to find a good pen. But yeah, I didn't really have bad thoughts. I find it really good. I would say though, I kept falling asleep because I was tired that day.
Oh yeah.
But nonetheless, I still enjoyed it. I love Joaquin Phoenix's performance as the Joker. In my opinion, Heath Ledger is still the best, but he is a very close follow-up, which is really good. But yeah,
I would say like it was such a good performance enough that he left his own mark as like Joker.
That's
you're having difficulty finding it.
Dude, for real. But
yeah, he really left his mark, and I would say he's one, unlike Jared Leto, who.
Well, we had a bad. I won't say bad, more like
the movie overall was.
I find it
badly made.
Bad, yeah.
Like
I'm looking forward for Suicide Squad 2, but I'm glad that we got a different Joker this time around.
Yeah, how do you feel about like? Would you want this to be just a standalone, or would you want this to be like with a Batman? Because they did leave that,
I prefer it to be without the Batman.
Yeah,
sure.
Same.
They teased the Batman origin with they teased the death of the Waynes.
Bruce. I mean, not Bruce Wayne.
Well, technically, there's a flashpoint.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne.
Yeah, both of the Waynes died.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, I like the fact that they did that. But at the same time, to me, it's another one of the Elseworld stories where it's not really part of the main continuity.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, Arthur Fleck is probably like late 30s, maybe highly unlikely late 30s, most probably mid to late 40s. And at that time, once Batman grows up, he's beating up an old man.
True.
But I do like that the Arthur Fleck pretty much inspired the what was it, 99%, the poor people, to pretty much take back what
Lower class, yeah.
the lower class take back from the elite, by causing riots and such.
And I know one of your like previous criticisms, but you were kind of concerned because Joker is such a very ambiguous character.
Mm-hmm.
Like his background, his whole history was very ambiguous.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that how they still kept that in the movie.
That is true.
Yeah.
I thought for a full on that Arthur Fleck was the given name.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like Jack Napier. I mean, not gonna lie, it has a ring to it. I like it better than Arthur Fleck.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that a lot of people are giving him different names. There's Arthur Fleck, there's Jack Napier,
Mm-hmm.
and with Arthur Fleck, he was adopted. No one knows what's his real name other than his last name. Oh no, he is adopted by his mom, so no one knows where he comes from. No one knows who his parents are. No one knows his real name other than he's given the name of Arthur Fleck.
And actually, they did drop like a hint that he might have been Thomas Wayne's like bastard son. There was like a little small open-ended hint with a photograph of his mom when she was younger, and on the back it said, "You have a lovely smile, TW." So there was a little connection, maybe more than just like she was a.
It could be her handwriting.
No, they actually checked like the letter she wrote to Thomas Wayne, the handwriting for that, and the handwriting that was on the back of the picture, and it was totally different.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, but like I like how everything was very open ended.
I didn't like how they tried to connect it to the Thomas Wayne, the Waynes. To be honest, that's one of my biggest gripes about the movie. Other than that, I like the open endedness.
And then again, like this was all just a hypothetical.
Yeah, it's not like hey, this is the actual story of Joker. No, it's just most likely one of his adaptations.
Yeah,
I like that. It was somewhat similar to the Killing Joke story, and like One Bad Day, but for him it's a one completely bad life.
Oh yeah.
Having a mental disorder, the laughing syndrome, the uncontrollable laughter, and then finding out he was adopted decades after he was decades after he could actually.
He was abused.
He was also abused, so he has traumatic, and the cause of the uncontrollable laughter, social awkwardness. By the way, Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
That actor, I forgot the actor's name, but that actor is that movie is that actor's second Batman movie after The Dark Knight Rises. He was in The Dark Knight Rises as the Commissioner. Oh wait, no, not Commissioner. Was it Commissioner? Captain maybe? But yeah, he was one of the police force. He was kidnapped by Selina Kyle. And then so he could, because she needed a ride from the Wayne Manor after she stole Bruce Wayne's prince.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah,
wow.
He was there.
Who knew?
when I first saw him, I was like, oh my gosh, it's him.
It's that guy.
Precisely, I was like, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Found him in a river ditch or something.
Oh wait. No, he wasn't one of those guys that got shot. Never mind.
No.
But how do you feel about like the underlying message? Well, what do you think the underlying message is that this movie wants to show?
It's not show,
or
but
is
demonstrate.
there any? Yeah.
mental illness.
Mental illness.
Like mental illness and bad luck piling up.
Yeah.
You know? How much terrible luck can break a man?
Yeah.
At that point, the man broke after getting beaten down by three, what you call those?
They were like hedge fund guys.
Yeah,
Yes.
like some.
They were in
Suits.
finance. Yeah, they worked for Wayne.
They didn't really specify. They just said that they were higher class.
Thomas Wayne came out and said they were
No.
like family, right?
No, well,
Because
because
he
he
worked
was
for
no, they were. It was just that they were all Gothams, like Gothamites.
Oh, okay.
They're family, but at the same time, the elite stays with the elite
Yeah.
and leaves the lower class behind.
Do you like how they portrayed like Thomas Wayne as like
I like
not
this.
a bad guy, but like
I like the portrayal. Like
Yeah.
we're so used to Thomas Wayne being a good father to Bruce.
yeah,
But what about outside of the manor? How is he to other people? The lower class. In Batman Begins, we see him, as caring,
Yeah.
and calm. But at the same time, we didn't really see him outside interacting with other lower class.
and he wasn't really. He was a doctor, right?
He's a doctor.
Yeah.
But in this one, I don't think they mention what occupation he has.
I think he was like the head of Wayne.
Oh no. He was running for mayor.
Yeah. And I would like to say Robert De Niro he did very well as like a TV.
Completely forgot
Doctor.
that it was Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. I was like, this is not Robert De Niro. Where's the face?
And well, he did very well. And man, when he got
interview,
shot,
that was brutal.
I was like, oh, it was because we're so used to seeing like the overdramatic, like Quentin Tarantino style, of, like getting shot.
Bloody.
Yeah, it's all bloody, but this one was just
Quick
subtle and quick.
And
Yeah, I was like,
not
oh
enough,
my God.
not much of a warning.
Yeah,
I thought that he was gonna use the gun to kill himself
Yeah.
on live television.
Yeah, but then he just switched it. He was
just like,
boom,
hello, pop, pop,
Yeah.
pop, pop.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was brutal.
The whole movie kind of reminded me like those very old classic opera like clown singers. It had a very like operatic sad clown vibe to me. And like I can see how Scorsese had like some influence into it. It just
I want to say that like it does have that classic 60s 70s vibe.
oh
into
yeah,
it.
this
Maybe
was
a
set in
little
like
bit
the 80s, right?
Yeah. Was it 80s? I thought it was like
Yeah.
around 70s 80s.
I think Top Phillips said like the movie was set in 1981.
Alright, I mean
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah,
Still makes sense.
but
That's pretty. Yeah, Joker in itself was a sad but harsh, yet completely angry.
yeah. And what made this movie really like made me feel very uncomfortable is because like some of the symptoms that he has, it was extravagant. It was more to the extreme. But if you really like take it down like lower, you start to see like, oh my God, sometimes I do that a little bit, and like I mean, I'm not killing people. I'm not saying that, but it's just
FBI right here.
it's just I can see like the depression and like,
It
loneliness.
just like I said earlier,
Yeah.
bad luck piling
Yeah.
up. Then on top of that, his mental illness
Yeah.
just bent some in.
Do you think as a society that maybe we should take responsibility, or is there nothing we can do? Like, we're not psychiatrists, by the way.
Oh, you're getting political as well.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. But these are the questions that the movie like made me think. Like I couldn't stop thinking about that movie for like 3 days.
For me, I stopped as soon as we got out.
Oh really?
Like, I was like, oh my gosh, that was so good. We walked out, I was like, sunny day.
Oh, yeah.
It's not Gotham anymore.
Oh my god.
Gotham is always dark, no matter what hour.
What hour?
Go watch Batman Begins. It's nighttime all over. From Batman Begins to Dark Knight Rises, every shot is dark. Batman vs Superman, every shot is dark.
It could be like the first day of summer in the middle of the day.
It's just raining, and you know, I was like, when I stepped outside into the bright sun, I was like, relief. No more uncomfortability. No more ominous presence from getting mugged.
And it is just a movie.
Yeah,
it's just a movie.
It's just a movie. Like I said, I mean, what should be aware of, pretty much mental illness. You know?
It's a very good movie. I recommend you watch it, and I think
my opinion, it's one of those movies, depending on how comfortable you are, can only be seen once, because of how much it is.
Well, I would say, like, if you want to see it twice, you could say, like, the movie is kind of like an investigative crime thing, because there's a lot of Easter eggs or, like, hitting things that maybe. I was thinking about watching it twice, but
I was only planning once, unless, like, let's say, like, a year or 2 years, maybe a couple of months pass by. And then I'll just be in the mood for it. I'll watch it again to see what I forgot or what I missed, just to recap myself. Then I'll probably not watch it again for another couple of months, because of, like I said, depends on the comfortability of a person towards the film. Because, like you said in the beginning, it's really uneasy. It's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, I was left with some disgust taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
So, for now, I would keep it a 1, 2 maybe. 3 definitely. So 4 okay.
Okay, that's
4 or 5.
You need to watch something else.
You need help.
Yeah. Did you find some parts kind of funny?
All of it.
Ooh.
Just kidding. The one comedian, the parking lot joke was pretty funny.
The midget?
No,
there was another one that was like the midget.
Oh yeah, the midget joke was funny. Sorry to all the midgets, but the application of the joke was funny. Yeah. I mean, whatever.
Dude, that was like, I was like, don't tell me he's going to kill the guy. He just killed the other guy.
Then again, he was right. You know, the midget was the short guy has always been, pun intended, short end of the stick.
Yeah.
Because they don't really want to make the weird guy feel terrible already, because he already feels terrible.
Yeah.
So they just switched the attention to him. But the one thing that really bothered me is that, you know, the kids, that one's bothering me. And the fact that his coworker gave him a gun and told him that he was looking for a gun. I was like, dude, you're the one who gave it to him.
Yeah, but then, like, that just shows he's like a piece of crap, piece of like shit, you know.
I wouldn't say a piece of crap, but he's the man it's Gotham. Every man for himself in there.
I'm not talking about Arthur Fleck. I'm talking about
every man for himself. Yeah. You know, he wanted to help out Arthur because it is Gotham, and he sees Arthur as a weak guy. You know, not much of a fighter, not built at all. So he was like, "Oh, hey, take care of yourself with this."
Yeah.
But when he got in trouble, Arthur Fleck got in trouble. He doesn't want the gun to come back to him. That's why.
Right.
That's why he just said that. It's not because he's a piece of crap ass.
Well, it was a piece of crap move.
Yeah, it is a dick move.
Yeah.
It is a dick move.
Was there like a standout Joker moment for you?
Like, it's been a week.
Okay.
I pretty much forgot most of it. I think the dark jokes at the end. I mean, to be honest, I like dark jokes. So the jokes during the interview were decent.
Yeah, you got to remember this. Like, Todd Phillips is known for making comedy movies. Yeah.
But yeah, some of the jokes there was pretty funny.
Yeah.
No matter how dark or sinister they were.
What was it?
I forgot most of it, but I remember laughing at the dark jokes during the interview.
Mm-hmm.
The joke he made during the stand up, even though it was badly executed or delivered, I still find it funny due to how
Nobody's laughing now.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, I was like
that was cringe, but it was still pretty funny. I was like, but yeah, that movie was something. It left you uneasy and disgust, but at the same time,
which means job done. That was the whole purpose of it.
It was a job done. Job well done.
Yeah. For me, the standout Joker moment was when. I guess the dancing scene where he danced in the bathroom.
Actually, completed. I thought that was only in the trailer. I forgot about that.
That was in the trailer, but then.
Yeah.
That was Yeah, man, dude, that guy was a complete psychopath.
I won't say psychopath. He's
but
a sociopath.
Yeah. What's the difference? I mean, like
sociopaths didn't really have emotions to drive them, whereas psychopath are leaning towards to the letting their emotions drive them to do what they want to do.
I mean, wasn't like the hate
no, but for him, he didn't really care for other people other than himself. Sure, he has the amount of anger and hatred in him, but if you look at towards at the end of the movie, during the jokes, the interview scene, you can definitely tell he's a sociopath.
Oh yeah,
because he was just straight up telling jokes without while everyone else is laughing, and he was just like, oh, it was a good joke. Come on. It's all perspective. But yeah, I would say he's a sociopath over a psychopath.
We're not therapists, by the way. We're just moviegoers.
We're just two post college kids.
Yeah, and we I really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the things that one of the few movies that will be remembered.
Do you think
for a long
Joaquin
time.
Phoenix or the movie itself will get a nomination?
I definitely Joaquin Phoenix will at least get a nomination.
I don't know.
That was just too good.
Maybe.
At least okay, if not, at least the film will get a nomination for cinematography.
Probably.
Because there were some shots that were really stunning.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
And yeah, man, good job, Todd Phillips. Way to step it up.
Way to make us feel uncomfortable in a movie.
Jesus.
Or we're supposed to be comfortable while watching an enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, to a more lighter tone.
Yes.
House of X and Powers of 10 finally ended this past week, and it sets up a new status quo for the X-Men lineups.
We talked about this before, huh?
Yeah, it was one of my recommendations. And I still recommended it because it's one of the best stories Jonathan Hickman has ever written.
And it was like all the mutants teamed up against the humans.
Not exactly. It's more like setting up. Okay, so pretty much the overall gist of the story is that mutants are done being pushed over. This is the current timeline because the story has 3 timelines, and we eventually see what happens as the story progresses. So pretty much the overall gist: mutants are done being pushed around, so they made their own. They made their own nation, the nation of Krakoa. Within there, all the rules, all the laws, all the people are mutants, and they have their own set of laws. Rule 1: don't kill mutants, or don't kill non-mutants. Rule 2: respect the land. I'm not saying this in an order. I forgot. I think Rule 2 is something else. Rule 2 is respect the land, which is Krakoa, which is also an island mutant,
Mm-hmm.
a mutant island, and the last one is Make More Mutants. There has been a lot of jokes going around in the surface of the internet about Jonathan Hickman and the X-Men having a one massive party, but
Oh, that kind of party.
that kind of party. Yes, yes. But at the same time, it was shown that it could fail. Like, it still has potential to fail,
Mm-hmm.
because the Charles Xavier that we know and love is not the same Charles Xavier now, But he still has the same ideals. But in more, he is somewhat more in line with Magneto's point of view. He started being pushed around. He wants to see if he can push mutant kind more into the spotlight by having their own freedom, their own nation, where any mutants can come. So, let's say Sabretooth committed a crime outside of their land.
Mm-hmm.
Mankind doesn't have the jurisdiction. Mutant kind has the jurisdiction.
Mm.
So if they capture them, they have to bring Sabretooth to the island, and they will judge what happens. And it was great. The council was great. Apocalypse was there. The guy who's like survival of the fittest. If you're not fit to survive, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
He was there. He's one of the council, alongside Magneto, Professor X, I believe Jean Grey, Emma Frost, Sebastian Shaw, Mystique, Mr. Sinister, plenty of villains. What's his name? Exodus or Exodus.
Mm-hmm.
Nightcrawler, and there was one more I can't remember from the top of my head, but that's pretty much most of the council, and they just banished Sabretooth.
Mm-hmm.
There was a literal scene where he was just pulled to the ground, and that's the end of Sabretooth for a while.
Poor Sabretooth.
Well, it was his fault,
Yeah.
For committing such crimes. But yeah, it's gonna be a new world order, and there was one scene, my favorite scene of all time, Namor,
Mm-hmm.
Prince of Atlantis, King of Atlantis, actually, was just straight up insulted Charles Xavier's dream. He was like, "Come back to me when you're being serious." I was like, "Damn, Namor, mic drop. Xavier's mic. He's not even the one having a telepathic conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and he got shut down." I was like, "Oh, that hurt."
Oh, so Professor Xavier went to Namor and proposed the idea of having a one.
No, he invited him to the because
act.
technically Namor is the first mutant to be public.
Yeah.
So he invited him to Krakoa, but he said no, straight up, just flat out said no.
Yeah.
And he was, "Come back when you're serious."
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, he's the king of Atlantis.
Yeah. Not only he's a king, he knows how to rule a nation. Dude.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Damn, Namor, you don't have to roast him that bad, dude." Jeez, bro. Poor guy.
Did you hear about Namor being the next villain in the Black Panther movie?
I hope not.
Really?
It's not that I hope not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would think, because he's always been an anti-villain, anti-hero sort of guy. He could be a
antagonist,
villain.
I guess.
Yeah, he can definitely bring the antagonistic character in.
Yeah.
Because I think the guy they casted is Asian, right?
Henry Golding from Crazy Rich Asians.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking of someone else then. But I can see him also as Namor. But yeah, like I said, Black Panther and Namor, even though they're in the same Illuminati group, they do tend to have a conflicting interest, because it's Namor, especially what happened with Avengers vs. X-Men. Namor doesn't trust. I mean, no, not Namor. Black Panther never trusted Namor at all. So yeah. Anyway, back to Powers of 10.
Yep.
House of X. I've pretty much briefly talked about what it is, Powers of 10 discuss the future of Moira MacTaggert. Moira MacTaggert has always been known as just a regular human being. No powers, just an associate to the X-Men and to Charles Xavier. In Powers of 10, it was revealed she has the power of resurrection, reincarnation. So if she dies, let's say at one point in life, she lived it out all the way to the end and dies, she goes back square one. All of the memories she got in the entire time gets kept. She keeps. Then she repeats.
Oh wait, so wait. Explain to me one more time. She
goes. Let's say
from the day she was born.
From the day she was born to the day she was dead. She died.
Yeah.
All those memories, she gets to keep for her next life.
Oh snap!
That's her power, and it was great because she played a big part in making the island. She went to Xavier to see if it'll work. It didn't. They managed to build their own separate place, but they were still attacked. She went to Magneto. From my point of view, I saw it like when she went to Magneto, it was the House of M story arc, and even then, every Marvel hero attacked, so that didn't work either. Next, she went to Apocalypse, where that was one of the first one of the other lives that was revealed, where the future will be fought against this guy called Nimrod. I've talked about him before. Nimrod has always been one of the X-Men's greatest foe because he is a Sentinel.
Yeah. He was one of the giant robots, right?
Yeah, I forgot what kind of Sentinel he was, but he's one of the most powerful Sentinels because, like in the movie Days of Future Past, he can adapt to any power. So he was fighting Apocalypse. A lot of people say that Apocalypse should have won, but it's Nimrod, an advanced Nimrod that I would say even Apocalypse with all of his powers won't stand a chance. Then there was another storyline that was revealed in the final issue of Powers of 10, where the big bad is from 1,000 years, a millennia from the start of House of X, and it's pretty much a race against time. In my opinion, it seems like a race against time before they become more omniscient. I don't know, but they will reach a section of space time where they can be anywhere at everywhere. They can be anywhere and anywhen. They can appear. Let's say now at this spot, or they can end. They'll be like they'll turn to the right and they'll be on a different area. That's pretty much. It's a very confusing story arc. It's still not done. It's just like I said, setting up a status quo for the new X-Men stories. Race against the Dominion, pretty much. That's how it's Phalanx, Dominion are the new words.
So, Race Against the Dominion.
Yeah, it's like
it's the next arc.
I wouldn't say an arc, more like it'll be building up to that.
Okay.
It's like it's probably the next X-Men event. So yeah, there's the pretty much like overall gist. Powers of 10 is you need to read it in order to get the full idea. Same with the House of X, because if you look at the reading recommendation, they are crisscross. So House of X for 1 week, Powers next, then back to House, then back to Powers. So you gotta read them in specific order to fully understand the gist. I'm definitely gonna be rereading it because there might have been so many tiny details that I've missed from over the course of 2 or 3 months of me reading it. I definitely highly recommend it because it's one of the best stories I've ever seen in all of X-Men ever since Claremont. And I didn't even start with Claremont. I just read a little bit of Claremont. Did I say here? I said read a little bit of Claremont's run, but I never read anything past. I tried to read anything more recent X-Men. It just didn't work out. None of the characters seems appealing to me. None of the stories as well. But yeah.
Man, I might not be big into like comic books as much as you, but I always like admired like the complex stories that they could do, that I wish like TV or like movies could do as well.
I want to see TV if they could handle it. I mean,
I think TV will be the better medium than movies, because
precisely.
TV
it's more like
you can expand it more and take your time to be paced. While with movie, if you're like even within 2 hours, you're pushing it.
Yeah, especially with comic book TV shows like Arrow, Flash, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They can totally make a complex story like this if they just take the time,
or like
and have a even though it seems to be like a very hard task to do, have a single writer write the full season.
Right.
Don't have any fillers, but just make it under the writer's vision. Then have the director and work with the director, see if it'll work, because the writer is the director, but in the TV in the industry, the writer is not the director. The director is the director.
The writer is like the main creator of the whole
Precisely.
thing. So you gotta like follow what the writer writes.
But you have your own. Like directors will tend to have their own visions in terms of cinematography and
such. The director at least has to translate most of what the writer creates into visuals.
Precisely.
By working with the cinematographer, the actors, and If it was like a like a high quality HBO miniseries, like
it might work.
I would love to see that, like hour 30 each episode.
I won't say hour 30.
Or hour. How long was Chernobyl each episode? They were like hour 10, right?
No, I think they were an hour 30. They were like mini movies.
Yeah.
But I would say a full hour, like Arrow. I won't say full hour, more like close to an hour, like Arrow, The Flash, like any of those shows.
What about like Sherlock?
I feel like with that, okay, the reason why Sherlock works...
It's 4 episodes, right?
It depends, because the first 3 seasons only had 3 episodes, and then the last one had 4, including the special. But the reason why it worked is because it's they covered the entire story arc. Like they just not the entire story arc of the season, more like the entire story of that episode. They cover groundworks, they cover the climax, they cover the conclusion.
Right.
So if they could do that within, if they want to do that with House of X, like comic book wise, it might work. I mean, it could work, as seen in the Netflix series. And in The Boys, and what other comic books heroes, but pretty much those comic book shows within like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, whatever. It could work, but it just needs to be more consistent when it comes to like overarching story arcs.
Right. It can't have too many cooks.
Precisely.
It's got to be
too many cooks.
It's got to be within like a certain small group that understands the main vision. That way,
that's why I'm kind of worried. That's why I'm incredibly worried about this year's crossover event, Crisis on Infinite Earths, because each episode will have completely different writers, and most likely those writers will just be featuring their main show's characters. So let's say Supergirl will be only featuring most of the characters from Supergirl. You won't be seeing characters from, or Superman, Supergirl with Superman, and then Batwoman will probably have Batman, Kevin Conroy and such. The Flash will, stretching it a bit, but might have the Black Lightning, and Arrow will most likely be the Arrow.
But do you think like there's one main creator or one main writer that says, okay, this is our goal. Everybody has to meet it.
It could. Mm-hmm.
But y'all can, as long as we meet at the end, or like we're still like going the same way, you guys can put your own creative thought into it.
It works.
It's like you have to balance it out, right? You know.
I mean, it works with Doctor Who. Doctor Who has a single showrunner. Right now it's Chris Chibnall.
Mm-hmm.
Previously it was Stephen Moffat, who also wrote the Sherlock series, and the way he did Doctor Who was that he'll write the first episode, the first story. Like let's say the first story only has 2 episodes. He'll write those 2 episodes, and then if the the final story is only an episode, he'll write that full episode. But he will write an episode in between, but in between those other episodes will be different writers. So yeah, it could work on the way you mentioned, and in the way that you just described it.
And like you look at the MCU, right? It's not one director.
Yeah, precisely.
It's Kevin Feige.
Yeah, it's Kevin Feige is the quote unquote showrunner of the MCU. They had a goal from, well, I won't say a goal right off the beginning, but by the time the Avengers came in, they had a goal all the way to an end game. They
had an idea.
Yeah, they have an idea.
They had a beginning and an end.
Precisely.
Yeah.
They have an idea.
Yeah.
To bring in the world's most powerful heroes. I'm quoting Nick Fury right now.
Oh.
But yeah. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's go a little bit more lighter. My Hero Academia returned last night, season 4. Oh. Of course, you already told me you haven't seen it yet. Well, it's not really much spoilers. The whole episode was just recapping what happened in season 3, giving us a brief overview of the characters again, like what their abilities are, what can they do, how they improved.
Yeah.
My question is, from the top of your head, I think I asked you this already. What is your top 5 fights from My Hero?
Man, you only asked me my favorite one, not top 5.
Now this one is top 5.
Oh man, okay. Well, I gotta give it to number 1 is like All Might versus All for One.
Mm-hmm.
No, One for All.
Yeah.
Yeah, One for All. I always get those.
No. All for One is the name.
No, the bad guy's One for All, right?
No, All for One is his name because One for All means one power for of all. You know what I mean? Like All for One means all powers in one person. Whereas
one power is for everyone.
All is like I wouldn't say one power for everyone, more like one person for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, he's always there to save. But yeah,
I always get those confused.
Yeah, I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, All for One, One for All.
They all sound bad and good. I don't know why.
Precisely, I was like, oh, yeah, I mean, it works.
But anyway, yeah, that's the top fight for me. Second one, I gotta give it to All Might versus Nomu, yeah.
The season 1 finale fight. I wouldn't say finale, more like
it was
the final fight.
Yeah. Deku versus the half guy, the half fire nice guy. I forgot his name.
Oh, Todoroki.
Yeah, Todoroki. I don't know. I only can think of 3 so far.
I have like so many in my head right now. Trying to rank them in order.
Damn. Well.
Done.
Oh damn.
You need one more. You need one more fight. I like 2 more fights.
2 more fights.
Because you have the All for One versus All Might.
Yeah.
All Might versus Nomu.
I remember the main ones.
Todoroki versus Deku.
Yeah. I remember the main ones. I don't. Remember that time where they fought the other schools as well in that tournament?
Yeah.
Does that count as well? Would that count?
Or is that was more like a competition. Yeah. And Deku didn't really fight anyone outside of, like Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki never fought anyone outside of their school.
Oh, I remember. Okay, remember that camping trip?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he fought that guy that was like
the all muscle.
Yeah, all muscle guy. Yeah,
Muscle is his name, I think.
he just went all out. I think he did like a 100% Detroit smash.
Yeah, I think it was a little. I think it was more than 100%, but he did the
1,000,000%. I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that was badass. That was cool.
Yeah. One
Yeah.
more.
Damn. Let's see. I know there's another one. I don't know. Oh, I only got 4 on me. So what about
for
yours?
me,
What about
number
yours?
1, Bakugo. No, I always say Bakugo, but Todoroki
Uh-huh.
versus Deku. Number 1. That was one of the greatest fights. Forcing Todoroki to use the fire power of Endeavor was great. Number 2 will be All Might versus All for One. Pure emotion right there.
Yeah.
3 is actually Todoroki versus Bakugo. That was a pretty cool fast fight. You know, Todoroki could totally win, I would say, but he didn't want to use the fire power again, so Bakugo won. Third will be Fourth will be Muscle Guy versus Deku. That was pure emotion, great scenes, great animation, great fight. And last will be Deku versus Bakugo round 2. After
It was this past season, right? It was like kind of like
3.
the season finale.
Yeah,
thing.
it was the last fight for the season.
Yeah.
Because for one, it's pretty emotional. Like Bakugo believes that he was to blame of the loss of All Might's power. If he wasn't so careless, All Might could still be a hero. At the same time, he thinks that Deku is making fun of him because he has All Might's powers and All Might believes in him and such.
Yeah, and like it was kind of like Bakugo was thinking like, you know, I worked my butt off, you know, and then all of a sudden you get lucky and get like the best superhero's powers for what, you know?
And he was known to not have any powers.
All of a sudden you're quirkless. Now you just have like the best quirk ever.
Precisely.
God.
He's making it his own.
I like that rivalry.
Yeah, I like it. It's one of the best.
Yeah,
because it's still friendly.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like a typical rival now.
Yeah.
And that turned into somewhat of a friendship. Like, Bakugo has now some respect towards Deku.
Dude, what about Endeavor? Like, all of a sudden you were number 2 for like all your career. Then you realize, like, would you say like One for All was All Might's actual quirk because it was just passed down to him?
Some say that All Might has a different set of quirk.
Apparently, his quirk
was the changing.
Yeah, it's changing his his muscle mass.
Yeah, precisely. That's what I've read too.
Yeah.
Because back then, like, there's no real evidence to show why and why not.
Yeah.
Because back then he's always muscly, and now he's just like either muscly or frail.
Yeah.
So it never really shown if that was his quirkless power.
And in this season, we're going to meet with
the new guy, the young version of
All Might.
All Might, pretty much. I always call him like.
It was like 1 million or something. No, I know he has a 1 million tag across his costume.
Oh, I don't know who you're talking about then.
The guy who's like the younger All Might.
Oh, the one who can face?
Yeah, the one who like
I never remember him with the 1 million.
Oh, it was in the manga, that's why.
Oh, yeah. I never read. I don't.
I saw part of it.
But yeah, I always call him young All Might, young healthy All Might for some reason. I saw him in a picture. I was like, what is a young healthy All Might doing here? And then who's this guy? He's like, oh, that's All Might. Oh, okay. He looks like he's dying.
Apparently, like he was supposed to get All Might's power. He was the original. That's what everyone is saying. But with yesterday's episode, they actually, one of them actually figured out who was the actual successor of All Might. So that was a pretty cool one, and I mean, I would say it's a pretty good episode, pretty good premiere. Nothing too much happened, just a recap of everything. And we are going to meet with one of the other heroes that like possessed One for All, right? That was before All Might's master, I think.
I I have no idea.
He was like the cop or something, I think.
No idea.
No idea? Oh. I'm in too deep. Okay.
You read too much of that manga.
I didn't even read the manga. I just watched the videos.
Yeah, precisely. You spoiled yourself right
I did
there.
not spoil.
Alright, on to Sound and Fury.
Oh, okay. Dude. Okay. Oh my goodness.
What is this? What is Sound and Fury? You
Alright.
told me it was an album. I got confused. I thought it was a TV show. Then you were like, no, it's a visual album.
Sound and Fury is a visual album. It was made by Sturgill Simpson, who is a country singer. But
lock them doors and turn the lights down.
Yeah, in a way. But like he's like very like old school country.
Okay.
And what I liked about this, it was 40 minutes. It
for the whole thing.
For the whole thing.
Oh, so it's an episode.
Yeah, it's basically an episode. It showed all his songs that's on the album. It's basically a visual representation of his album, but in like anime style. So like the main story for the anime in general is these two like billionaire type guys. They went to Japan and they raided this samurai sword making forgery.
Smith?
Blacksmith. Yeah. They killed everybody in there, right? But the Grand Master was away. He came back and saw what happened. So he made these two swords fused with the souls of his two best students, sword makers. And then he was on a quest for vengeance to kill those two guys that killed his entire clan, right? But later on, he got too old to like defeat them, so he had a daughter, and she carried on that like legacy, and she ended up doing it. It was bad. It was badass. Like there's really no dialogue or anything like that. It's just you're listening to the music with the anime and visuals as well. And going away from like just the main story of it, I really like the style of telling a story through music. You know how some artists, they say, no, you gotta listen to the full album in this order to really get what we're trying to say, to understand the real story behind it. And I can see why now. This was a better way of doing it, because it was hard for me to listen through a full album like in order and see like what are they trying to talk about. I mean, I like the songs, but like what's the main story that they're trying to tell? And I think what Netflix is doing, this is a great way to do it. I know some other artists, what's that band, the Lonely Island Boys or something?
The Lonely Island.
What was that? What was that? Yeah.
Lonely Island.
Yeah, Lonely Island.
The Lonely Island.
They did like a album about the Smash Brothers. They were like an Oakland baseball thing, but they were caught for using steroids. Okay. That was kind of but like that kind of fit their style as like, you know, in comedic way. But I totally recommend it. And my favorite songs from this album are Sing Along, Make Art Not Friends, and Mercury is Retrograde.
Do you think that...
And sorry. And like it's not really country. He really fused like Japanese like synth and like pop with like country style. Yeah, I like it.
Okay. Yeah. So do you think that the way they handled music, the visuals, do you think that musicians nowadays should follow suit?
Oh yeah, total. This was like because I never really listened to Sturgill Simpson that much until I saw this. Like, oh man, this is pretty cool. Like, because I saw the sing along first, and that was like, it was the same people that made Ninja Batman.
Okay.
So it was the same anime style as that, and I think this is the best way to gain more exposure and like a more creative way to do this.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So this is something I might not even see for the next few months.
I know.
Maybe in a year, maybe even 2 years. El Camino. The Breaking Bad
movie.
Story.
Yes. Oh my god.
So, Breaking Bad. Something I watched when I was in freshman year in college. Better Call Saul. I tried to watch Better Call Saul. It was pretty slow because it was only season 1.
Yeah.
So I stopped watching within the first few episodes. But El Camino, how would you describe it?
Okay, so let me just tell you the broad main story of the thing, right? So this takes place right after Jesse got free.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
he got caught. That's a spoiler.
That was the ending, bro.
I did not remember that.
You don't remember he got caught by the...
I only remember Heisenberg shooting himself, like getting himself shot.
Yeah, that's because he helped Jesse break free from those white... I think they were Nazis?
Oh,
like those neo-Nazis?
I have no idea.
I know
it's
one of them
been
has
a long
swastika.
time.
But like yeah, so this takes right after like the series finale.
Okay.
So the main story is Jesse wants to run away to Alaska to start his life over. But he has to meet with, I think his name was Robert, because Robert specializes in like moving people and like helping them start a new life, you know, like with new ID, new social security code, just
Mm-hmm.
like basically a clean slate, right?
Yeah.
So that's just the main story. And the best way I can describe this movie is like you got a photo album, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you really just look back and like you see like all the old characters again, like most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, who's the old guy?
Gus or
Not Gus.
the one that's in the wheelchair?
Not the wheelchair.
Mike.
Yeah, he was like bald headed.
Yeah, he was the I won't say bodyguard, but he was the enforcer.
Yeah, he was like the enforcer guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he was there, and it was not so much like the Breaking Bad, what we see in Breaking Bad about like the drama and the action and all that. It was just a very sentimental. It was like a bittersweet goodbye to all the good times that you had with these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Major spoiler alert.
He died.
Huh? Who?
Aaron Pauls.
No. He actually makes it to Alaska. Yeah.
I mean, what's the fun in that?
No, but it was fun seeing like all the old characters come back. Walter White makes a comeback.
Oh, okay.
And it was just more very emotional and sentimental to it. Very chill movie. Like there's some action scenes, but yeah, it just reminded me of all the good times I had with the series. Yeah, so I definitely recommend. It was a good epilogue movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So, one movie to the next. Actually, one
whole
series.
Bunch of movies.
A series from one series to the next.
Yeah.
The Conjuring series. Oh boy.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
I'm gonna rank them first.
Okay.
From worst to best.
To
Worst.
best.
The worst is The Nun. The Nun was boring.
I 100% agree.
Heavily relied on audio for jump scares. The design for Valak was okay, but the origin for Valak was stupid. I just come to the realization how stupid the background story was. Like, it's so unbelievable, you know, like an ancient relic from the medieval times is still fresh in the 20th century. Okay, the next one I would say is The Curse of La Llorona.
Mm-hmm.
Problem with that was it wasn't scary. It didn't have a scary presence. It didn't have the creepy vibe to it. The design for the La Llorona is simple. It's just like she's grayed out and just black tears rolling down her eyes, you know.
Totally original.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
precisely. Yeah, I mean, she always crying, so it makes it the black tears.
I bet you were bored to tears.
I was bored to sleep.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Following it up with Annabelle.
Okay.
The first Annabelle movie was boring, but it has some good scares.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite scare from that, and I'm pretty sure the only scare from that, was when Annabelle, she was a kid first, then when she was running towards the character, hits the door, and by the time she hits the door, it swung open, and the adult Annabelle comes in. So I was like, holy moly! That when I first watched it, I remember getting actually scared by it because it was a good one. Even when I anticipated it, it was still a pretty good jump. Following it up is Annabelle Comes Home. Annabelle Comes Home. For some reason, I find it to be hilarious. It's a hilarious horror movie. It sounded like, it still has the creepy vibe of the original Conjuring movie, and I won't say the original, probably the Conjuring 2 movie. And it's all about the Warrens still, but it's the Annabelle doll being in their house, and this one stupid teenager decided to open the glass case.
This was recent, right?
Yeah, this is the most recent one. Because this one came out a little bit after La Llorona.
Yeah.
And even though it had a very cliche, it has so many cliche moments, but at this point, they just expect you to believe that it's not gonna be a good film, like good story. But the delivery of everything was pretty good. It had a creepy vibe. It had a pretty good scares. They didn't rely much on the jump scares. They also relied on the mystery behind the relics inside the Warren's home. That's why I've actually enjoyed it. And the overarching story was pretty nice. Following it up will be The Conjuring 2. Where am I at? So the first one's The Nun, then the La Llorona, Annabelle Comes Home. Okay, cool. Yeah. So this one, the third from the best, is The Conjuring 2. Conjuring 2 had good moments. I liked the design for the Crooked Man. The Crooked Man scene actually scared me because he was reciting his rhyme, pretty much his lyrics back to the audience, and it was pretty good. I was creeped out towards the end. Oh yeah, I also forgot the ferryman, I think was his name, from Comes Home. Annabelle Comes Home. He was also great. He had a very simplistic design. You don't see the entirety of him except for his mask, aka head. I'm pretty sure it's just a mask, and two glowing eyes. And the story behind the ferryman is that you put coins on dead people's eyes so they can pay his fee. So I found that really cool, and the design, like I said, was pretty nice. Simple, but you don't see anything else in the dark because you only see the head. As for the Crooked Man, even though I didn't like the amount of CGI used,
I remember that one was CGI.
It was pretty cool. Like, it was nicely done. The scare was great, but at the same time, it's not the only really scary part. Oh, excuse me, was the first third of the movie and the last third.
Because the first third of the movie was with the nun.
No, the last third was about the nun. The first third was just the haunting of the family.
Wasn't that because of the nun?
Yes, but the nun was in the Warrens because of the Amityville horror. Lorraine saw a vision of Ed dying at the hands of Valak.
Yeah.
Moving on from The Conjuring 2, Annabelle Creation, one of the best, pretty much the best Annabelle. Yeah, there's 3 Annabelle movies. Annabelle Creation is the best one. If you've seen it, it's so good. Like, because it didn't really rely on the first Annabelle movie, but the transition from Creation to the first Annabelle movie is smooth. Because it shows it tells us who the lady was who killed herself with the Annabelle. If you remember watching Annabelle, you'll see the beginning of the movie. You'll see Annabelle with having that doll in her lap with her slit throat. But with Creation, they'll tell you the history of the doll and the reason why Annabelle, the girl, killed herself with the doll in her lap. And it was pretty cool because it was in a very secluded area. It was back in the 50s, so around a little bit after 3 years after the Nun. I actually looked this up, and it was just good. They didn't really rely on heavy usage of jump scares. There were like probably 5 at most, but the aura, the creepiness of the whole place makes up for it, and they don't just like scare you every other second. They slowly build it up by starting it out with jump scares, so you can get like an easy feeling. Then midway point, they'll go for the creepiness and everything. Then at the very last part of the movie, they'll go for the actual like the combination of both, which translated well with the Annabelle movies because it literally captured, because the very first Conjuring movie captured all of that together perfectly. That's why I've always loved the Conjuring movie. The first one has always been my favorite. The clap was really scary. Always gets me. Bathsheba on the wardrobe.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I remember watching it in the movies. I was like, holy moly! But yeah, even when I was watching it, I just got goosebumps all over my body.
The Conjuring movie, like, is one of the best scary movies I've ever seen.
Yes, same here.
And like,
I'm not gonna lie, it is the best for me.
Yeah,
it's just one of the best.
And I was really impressed with James Wan because it was such a step up from like the Saw series or like Insidious. I would say like the Insidious, like the first time I saw Insidious, the first one, that was pretty good too.
I need to rewatch it.
Yeah.
But the last key.
Oh, don't even get me started, man.
I don't want to watch it.
Oh my god.
But yeah, unfortunately, with the I think the final, I won't say final, but the next installment for the Conjuring series, James Wan is now returning as the director, but he's gonna produce it and probably co-write it with Gary Doberman, the director of Comes Home. And I'm hoping, because the director is the director of La Llorona, and even though there were some cool shots in La Llorona, the story of the movie was not good.
Which one is this going to be about?
This one is gonna be American Werewolf, apparently, in London. It's gonna be more adventures of Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
They're just gonna go with their experiences and their adventures, but a bit more fictionalized, like what they did with The Conjuring 2.
Yeah.
So I really like that one. I really enjoyed that one.
I like remember that time when Universal tried to do like The
Mummy?
Yeah, The Mummy with Tom Cruise. They try to like do like the whole universe thing. Yeah, that thing goes so well.
They could have done it perfectly well too, because it kind of sucks because they said no to the Dracula movie, because Dracula was supposed to be the very first one, but they said no. Let's start it off with the Mummy.
Oh my god!
The Dracula was the decent movie. I remember watching it and I was like, oh, not bad.
It was Untold, right?
Yeah, Dracula. Then I don't know, but it was the most recent one with the Charles Dance and discount Orlando Bloom.
Oh, that hurt.
Luke Evans.
Oh, Luke.
To be honest, when I was watching The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug, I thought it was Orlando Bloom. Then Orlando Bloom comes out, I was like, that's not Orlando Bloom, that's Orlando Bloom.
Oh yeah, I forgot Orlando Bloom's Legolas too.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that's not Orlando Bloom, that's Orlando Bloom.
Who the heck are you?
Credits roll down. That's not Orlando Bloom either. You're neither Orlando Bloom.
Oh my god, I'm confused.
Precisely. Well, what do you think? That pretty much sums up my Conjuring review. Man, it was fast, but I mentioned everything that I...
Yeah, I didn't know they were going to do like American Werewolf. I'm kind of excited about it now.
I think it's gonna be a base on the American Werewolf, but I'm not sure, because they did have a book in Comes Home about the American Werewolf. So I'm not sure if that's gonna be the future adventure.
Yeah, because like all the possession stuff and like that was like scary at first, but I was like, maybe we should change it up. Like,
I like the possession because they're actually scary, and it might, it could happen if you're really supernaturalistic. Werewolves, in my opinion, seems too painful.
I just like they're saying, because you know how like the first Conjuring, it was like based on a true story.
Yeah.
Which
now it's just slowly
going to fantasy,
to fiction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the second Conjuring movie.
Yeah.
So
I like it. I dig it.
Yeah. Same here. So, for today's episode, what did we go over? Help me out here.
We went over Joker
for the first topic. The Marvel's House of X and Powers of 10.
My Hero Academia.
Sound of Fury.
El Camino.
And ending it up with some spooky stuff called the Conjuring series.
Yeah.
My quick summary rundown of the Conjuring series. If you want more of our reviews of the movies, check out our Instagram at Geeks Reviews. Actually, it's at Geeks _Reviews _
Yeah.
I should really change that up, but most of the names have been taken.
Well, in our post we tag.
Yeah,
there's a link to our.
The description will have the links to our social media. You can also find us on Facebook at GZRZ Podcast. Same goes with our Twitter, GZRZ Podcast.
And YouTube.
And YouTube. You'll find us here on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't have to miss any other,
and
content.
And feel free to leave us some feedback on how we can improve or what you guys will like to hear next time.
Precisely.
We're welcome to it.
So we can improve, like he said, and bring more content in the future.
Yeah.
Hope you guys have an amazing day, and we'll see you guys next time. Laters.